Hi, team. I hope you're having a magical Thursday. Thursday is the day I host the Shift Show, in which we shift one thing we're doing. Maybe it's building a better habit. Maybe it's changing how we do certain tasks. And actually, today I'm going to talk about tasks. I'm going to talk about an overwhelming task list. So this might be a task list that's just got too many things on it. There's 35 things. You don't know where to start. You don't know how to prioritize. Or this might be like something I've been facing, which is the overwhelm of having to get taxes done. And some of you are saying, taxes, it's September. Well, back in April, my husband's father died, my father-in-law. And so the months leading up to that, he had cancer, were very intense. There was a lot going on in our lives. And taxes were kind of the furthest things from our mind. We had a lot of other fish to fry. So we opted to take an extension. Now, you have to know something, a little background. We had a lot of problems with accountants from 2018 to 2020. We went through 5 accountants in 3 years. Not by choice. People who decided that we were going to keep getting shifted around team to team. And so our taxes were a complete mess from 2018 to 2020. And I spent more hours than I can count in 2021 cleaning up the mess. I will tell you also that the IRS was fabulous. They worked with us every step of the way. We did, in fact, owe money. They couldn't have been nicer about the whole thing. We got it all worked out. It took me almost a year to clean up the mess. I have never loved doing taxes. It is not my favorite thing. It is not in my area or zone of genius. And if you have ADHD, I'm kind of notorious for putting stuff off that we don't like doing. But in 2021, I had no choice. I had to take care of everything, and I did. It was a huge, huge cleanup job, and I made it happen. We have a wonderful accountant now, a solid bookkeeping team. Everything is just fine. But we did have this death in the family. And I am just going to say, when you're in the midst of mourning and things, a lot of things go by the wayside and you just don't do them. We did file for an extension. We did the things we were supposed to do. I reached out to my accountant and made all that kosher. But the fact is that the extension ends on October 1st. So I know I have this big, overwhelming project of something that I don't really like doing. Frankly, I think I probably get traumatized every time I have to do taxes because of that whole situation that happened several years ago. And in fact, it's funny, from 2021 on, I swore that I would never file an extension again. I was always going to get my taxes done on time. So there was kind of a big emotional hurdle with this. At any rate, knowing this, I am using my calendar and my scheduler and my project planning techniques, all the strategies that I teach my clients to get this project done. And how am I doing it? Well, how I'm doing it is I am doing one task at a time. I know that I have a week or so to get everything to the accountant. And I know that I probably have about 7 to 10 tasks I need to accomplish before my accountant goes full on with this. I also know that there are certain tasks that need to be done quicker. So, for example, we have a beach home. So that is something I'm doing today, is getting my accountant all the paperwork regarding the beach home, because that actually has to be filed separately. And because that's everything else is kind of contingent on that filing. If she can have that first, then she can move forward and we can get that filing done. So we might actually have one of these filings done by the end of next week, which is fabulous. Because all that's ready to go. It's just a matter of me transferring it over to the accountant. So here's how this looks this week. Well, Monday was a holiday. Sorry, I didn't do anything. Tuesday, I got home quite late. We were in Fenwick Island, and my husband was back already, but I was taking the train, etc. And so I ended up thinking, what is one task I can do today that doesn't require a lot of bandwidth, because it's after 8 o'clock at night. And my brain doesn't brain after 8 o'clock at night. So I just wasn't going to do anything hardcore. So I know my husband keeps a folder of everything with the taxes from 2023. So I said, could you bring that folder and put it up on the kitchen island, which is our centralized location when we're working on a project. So he did that. So that check, Tuesday, check, right? That's a win. Wednesday, I knew that my bookkeeping team needed some business tax info, which I had gotten them before I left, but they just didn't understand. Again, the bookkeeping team changes every 4 to 5 months. I have to re-explain everything. So that's what I did yesterday. I got on my bench bookkeeping group, and I wrote out the answers to the questions I had, and I know that they can move forward. They've got everything they need to do my bookkeeping for my business. So that is done and ready to go. And that should be able to be done in the next week or so. Check that box off. Today was to get the information about the rental home, download it, which I have done, and I need to now send it to my accountant. I also need to pay 2 tax bills that are due this month. That's 2 things. I probably will pay those tax bills on Saturday, just because they're not due yet. So I don't have the urgency that I have with getting some of these other things done. Friday, I'm meeting with my financial manager, and she will help me access the investment information that I need to send to my accountant, and then I will send that. So see, by the end of Friday, my accountant will have anything electronic except my one business, and won't have this folder yet that I've got to scan the documents from, unless my husband scanned them. So on Saturday, I'm going to review that folder and ask my husband, have you scanned these already? If he hasn't, then I'm going to scan them Saturday. Sunday, I'm taking the day off. It's not going to do anything related to taxes. I'm going to give myself a whole day off. Next week, I'll be basically double checking on things just to see, is the bookkeeping done with my business? Does the accountant need me to clarify anything? Probably Monday, I'll send the stuff that I downloaded on Saturday. So there's every day I have one tiny task. Why am I doing it this way? If I tried to do this all in one day, first of all, I'm in a major launch, right? I'm about to launch this Google Calendar workshop. I don't have time to take a whole day and set it aside to doing taxes. So that's one. 2, some things aren't going to get done. I'm relying on other people to get them done. So if I can do them in a kind of order and make some sense, that makes some sense so that things are getting moving forward. Because let's face it, it's September 5th. There's not a lot of time to get the taxes done between now and October 1st. So I really need to be speeding along and getting things out to them. But I'm also launching. And when you're a small business owner, the launch is really important. It's like you live, eat, and breathe the launch, right? There's lots of emails to be sent out, lots of private messages to be sent to people, lots of talking to people about any questions they might have about the workshop, etc. So I explain all this because, one, I want to suggest to you that if you have a major project and you don't know what to do, start to break it down into baby-sized bites. What are the smallest ways you can take things down to just one little task at a time? You can actually get much better at doing things. This is also appropriate for habits too, if you put them into very small bite-sized pieces. The other thing is that I put on my calendar every day, it says taxes, and I put it in a fun color like purple or something so that I see it and I remember to do something related to it each day. But it's not feeling onerous because I only allowed a half hour each day for it. And the fact is, all these tasks take less than half an hour, which is the point. You want to make your tasks tiny. You want them to take less than half an hour. Be great if you're really struggling and you're challenged, you're afraid to even get started at all, pick a task that takes 2 minutes and do that. You want to get that forward momentum going, right? I'm feeling less stressed out about my taxes because I have a plan. I've got it on my calendar. I know what I have to do when, and I know how to move it forward. With that, I am going to tell you that is part of what I'm going to be sharing in the Google Calendar workshop, which I'm hosting Wednesday, September 11th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. It's bit.ly/GCal workshop. If you are feeling overwhelmed or burdened by a task list, by a mountain of tasks, and you have no clear plan, by one project that you just can't get off the ground because you don't know where to start, any of these kinds of things, using your Google Calendar to schedule it out is brilliant. And by the way, I would start with, if it's a big project, let's say, and your deadline is, for me, October 1st. My deadline's really much more like September 25th at the latest, because we're going to have to get down there. We're going to have to sign paperwork. my accountant needs time to work on things. So really my first deadline is like September 11th. I need to have everything to them so that they can do the work in the background. Yeah, of the clients too, right? And then the next deadline will be reviewing with them. And then the next deadline will be signing it. And then the next deadline will be getting everything in to the government and making sure that it's all into the IRS well before the 1st of October. I do not need the stress of sending stuff on September 30th. So working backwards, you can see how I did that timeline, right? I set it forwards, but work it backwards from September 30th to like September 25th would be a great day to be completely done with everything. Actually sitting and signing the paperwork, and then work from there. Take into account, you might want a day off. Take into account if you've got vacations, things like that as you're creating a project management kind of timeline in your schedule. Come to the Google Calendar workshop because it's about an hour, hour and a half long, where I am not going to just tell you why you need to have a really great calendar, and I'm specifically doing only Google Calendar, but I'm going to show you the exact steps, the how-to set up your Google Calendar so it is ADHD or neurozesty friendly, so it works with your brain. I'm going to show you more than one option because you might say, no way, color coding, yeah, you're crazy. I would never color code my calendar. I color code my calendar to the nth degree. Come to the workshop. It's just $37. September 11th at 11 a.m. Eastern. If for some reason you can't make it, there will be a recording. That recording will go out probably around the weekend. There was a workbook. My assistant put it together. She's my business manager. She's amazing. Her marketing materials are gorgeous. She does all my marketing materials for me. This workbook is gorgeous. Ask anybody who did the last workshop. They will tell you that we actually had workbooks for Gmail, Apple Mail, and Outlook because people came to that workshop and used different emails, and I could only really teach one in the course during the time of the course. So fabulous workbooks where there's literally images and step-by-step telling you the exact instructions, the how to do each thing, right? So I want to see you at the workshop. I'm really excited about it. I need to hop because the next thing is going to happen in my calendar, and I've not been paying attention to time because time blindness and ADHD. So I need to go. I hope you will join me in the Google Calendar workshop on September 11th. Like I said, the link's right there. I will make sure to put it in the comments as well, so you can just click the link and register. bit.ly/GCal workshop. Hope to see you there. And don't forget to shift your major project, break it down into smaller chunks. Let me know how it goes in the comments.